All right, guys, so we're back for week 3 of the Steel Show here. Huge win for the Yotes over Montana Tech in Butte, 28-14. Yotes played fantastic. So again, what were your reactions after the game? Just initial reaction from the film and how you guys played.
Well, so proud of our guys. We're traveling well, and they know what we're doing, and we decided to leave early on Friday morning. So I could tell we were dialed in. I knew we were prepared, and that's the difference. That's been our emphasis early in the season relative to last year when we struggled so much. We're just better prepared, from the coaches to the players, and getting ready to travel, all that sort of thing. So I was excited. Even at our Friday walkthrough at Butte High School, the guys were dialed in and excited to be there, excited to play, and that's what I love. That's why I'm in this business, is to motivate and be around young guys who are excited about playing college football. It's the greatest game there is, and boy, they were excited. We have a little bit of fun on Fridays, but everything was great. And then the game, I thought our execution was on both sides of the ball was very, very crisp and sharp, and it didn't all go our way. It was a very, very tough game, tough sledding in that first half, but love the way we came out, and just toe to toe, and great football game, and we were getting the better of them maybe, and nothing.
Game you have to kind of stay the course in.
Nothing really to show for it, but I felt great about the game all the way through the first quarter and a half before there was any score.
Yep. And then let's talk about the defense. Obviously, they kept you guys really in the game first quarter and a half, where you were able to take some kind of a lead, and they just played fantastic all day. So talk a little about how they were.
Yeah, almost dominant, Brock. I mean, they held them to 3 out of 12 on third downs, and we'll get to the special teams, but forcing them to punt that many times is fantastic. We look fast. Start with the defensive front. James Roy, Zach White, Brock Funk, Demetrius Tao. They're doing a great job inside. And then the defensive ends, we have some juice out there with Landon, Danny. We talked about those guys last week, Oscar and Keegan McCoy. I mean, they're just doing, we're able to play some base. I know you were going to get to that, which is just only rushing 4 guys and still get some pressure on the quarterback. And that really helps us in our run game, run fits, but we are flying to the ball. And I think
it's noticeable on camera.
I think our linebacking is also a major difference. I think we're doing a great job. We have a group of 4 guys, some older, some younger, and they're playing great.
And you guys were able to get 4 sacks on their new quarterback there, and obviously hasn't had a lot of time back there, just coming in the last few games last year, and so I thought it was huge for you guys to be able to get in his face all day, and then talk about the defensive backs. I thought they had a little bit of juice at receiver, and talk about how they played, and they were able to fire.
Isaiah Abdul's playing great, and then the safeties, David Ford, and
10 tackles for David Ford on Saturday.
Yeah, he's just a tough guy and a tough football player, and we need that out of him too. That's what he can do. So he's been injured his first couple years here, and so he's healthy, he's taking care of himself, and he's a really, really good football player and a good competitor. Tristan Alisi kind of moved all around. He played corner, he played free safety. And Josh Ellsbury had a big game. Number 10 from Mountain View High School. I mean, he just is, keep your head down, quiet, but man, he works hard. He's a smart kid, and he had a great game.
Yes, sir.
He really did.
Yes, sir. And then, like I said, talk about the special teams before we go to offense. I thought, as a fan, the special teams played great. Maybe some good returns, good coverage units. Talk a little bit about the special teams.
We were disappointed the first week, and so we made some changes, a couple personnel changes, and Kyle Mitchell is kicking the ball extremely well. We covered kicks very, very well. And then the punt team, Spencer is doing a very, very nice job getting the ball off. We were concerned about Tech. They're always, I think they're one of the better coached teams in the conference, and special teams is no exception. They're very, very good, but it was very, very pleasing. And then Tony Hubner caught the ball well, and that was huge. And he made a big return near the end of the game, and had another one called back. So he's doing great.
He just looks like he has some guts back there, and you got to have a guy that's got some guts. And I like that he's being aggressive about it.
Takes confidence. That's one of those rare sort of feelings back there, with your head up in the sky, waiting for the punt to come down, and with all the guys bearing down on you. So hats off to Tony, and one of the greatest kids we got, and he's doing a great job. So he was a big part of the win.
Yes, sir. And then moving right on to the offense, again, run game was huge. Open up the pass game a little bit more. Talk about the performance from first the run game and the running backs and the O-line.
Well, Montana Tech has always given us trouble. They are very, very good. Just schematically, they're talented. They're very, very good, and we thought we had a little bit of a beat on them, and we kind of limited what we did and did what we do best. And Nick Calzaretta was incredible. Give our offensive line a chance to be physical. That's why I believe in a physical run game. Offensive line is too hard a position if you're dropping back too many times. If you're not able to get anything going on the ground, it's a very, very tough position to play. We can't afford to do that. So we have to, even if we don't make any yards, we're still going to run the rock and get double teams and run power and all those things. And power, Brock, is just, you got a double team at the point of attack and you got one or two pullers getting over there. And that's our bread and butter.
Yes,
That's what we do. And so Nick fits perfectly in there. Justin Hellier, I've talked about the depth at running back. Dom Garzoli, those guys are fantastic. Our tight ends are physical guys. It just gives us a chance to impose our will a little bit. And then by the end of the game, in these last two games, I think the guys feel it. You know, they feel that we're starting to get the better of them. I mean, we're not demolishing people out there, but we're getting the better of them. And that adds confidence and all those things. The pass game's got to come along, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think everyone's a little bit frustrated. I think Darius is playing fantastic, but the receivers, you a receiver, you always want the ball, and that's just part of the deal. And I think it's a good frustration. You know, they're not upset with anything. We're winning, we're doing some good things. We just need to work hard and work harder and find a way to get open. And we got talented guys and guys that are full of pride and want to contribute in that way.
And that's the attitude you want to have at the receiver
Absolutely.
group. And I think every team in the country has things that they know if they want to make a run in the playoffs or win their league, they're going to have to continue to get better at some things.
Right.
Nobody's got it all figured out right now. So.
And I've always said, to win, you have to be able to run the ball. To win big and win big games, you have to be able to do both. You have to be able to do it all. So that's always our goal. I think we're on track. And we know, I think our guys are smart enough, we know we have a lot of work to do.
And I think what's another exciting thing as a fan of the program is, you know, when you have a situation where you got maybe a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, the other team knows that you're going to probably be forcing the run, trying to work the clock, and you guys are still able to get first downs like you talked about and kind of put the game away. And that's critical to be a championship, you know, playoff type team, is to being able to put a team away when they know the run's coming and we're still getting yards.
Yeah, my favorite play of the game was we were ahead 14-0. It was 4th and 1 on the 10-yard line. Could have, or 1.5 even. Could have kicked a field goal. And love Kyle Mitchell, and it's nothing against him. We are good, have as good a kicker as we've ever had. Kyle's done a great job, but we just knew they couldn't stop us, and I felt like it was my duty as the head coach to, hey, if we got them on the run, let's go. And sometimes you just got to let your guys go
and it's kind of
show them that you believe in them.
And
sort of thing.
And it kind of sets the tone for the mentality the rest of the season, right? When you're like, you know, no, if we're in this situation, I don't care if they know we're going to, you know, only need one. We're going to go get one. If we want to win this league, we should be able to get 1 yard when we know we have to, and they know we're going to run it.
Right,
so.
Exactly. And Nick was fantastic. We got behind a double team. We cut the end. Connor Gagan, I believe, but he just stayed in there behind. I think we made 3 or 4. You know, so it was impressive, pushing the pile.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes those 3 and 4 yard runs are just as impressive as the 50-yard runs.
It's
always nice to get the 50-yard runs.
Yeah, they help. So, they help. Yeah. So last person I want to talk about offensively, it was good to get Kenyon Olsen involved. You know, new tight end, moved from running back. Talk a little bit about how the transition he's had and how what he's been able to provide for you guys.
And he's not playing a lot. And if he was sitting here, he'd be thinking, I sure want to play a lot more. But he's done a very nice job. Very good special teams player. But he can run. He's tough. He's
good all around football player.
Can catch the ball. And we got 3 of those guys we just talked about as a staff today. Canyon's one of them. Justin Hellier's another. Dom Garzoli's another. We need to find little packages for those guys. So that's what we spent a little bit of today and we'll do tomorrow. And those guys just need to be on the field. They are they're just the consummate Yotes. You know, they're football guys, they're tough guys, and they'll help us get on the field.
Yes, sir. So moving right along, I'm putting Montana Tech to bed, 24-hour rule. Moving on to Southern Oregon, huge game for you guys this week, homecoming. talk a little bit about what it's been like to coach against Southern since you've been here, what their program means to the conference, and how excited you are to go against them.
There's so much variety in the conference. You go from Eastern Oregon, what they do, and Montana Tech, to their tough, disciplined physicality, to Southern Oregon, which is, they're always fast, athletic, they're huge, they stretch the field on offense, they're pressure oriented, not necessarily blitz on defense, but just you remember, just a lot of head tap, a lot of man coverage, and
that's just, they're going to challenge you.
they will challenge.
Offensively, they're going to go deep. Defense, they're going to get in your face. Their mentality feels like they're just going to challenge you all day on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely, and so they are tough. We know they're going to throw deep the opening play of the game, and may do it every single play the whole game. And so they're always a test. I have great respect for their coaching staff and what they do and the program they built, the history that they have there, the recent history that they have of national championships and in the finals, and they're used to being a playoff team, and they're really, really good. And yet, they're especially dangerous now, in my opinion. They got beat pretty good by Division I, Sac State, and then lost a tough one to Eastern Oregon this last week. And they have their backs against the wall.
Right.
And we know what it's like to have our backs against the wall. And that's the way competition is.
Yeah.
You got to respect your opponent, and these guys, we need to go beyond respect and know that this is going to be a great football game,
yeah.
a great test for our young team.
Yeah, and they're gonna come out fired up. We even talked about it with Landon and Darius a little bit about how, I'm sure their speech to their team this week is going to be, if we can go on the road to C of I and beat a team who's 2-0, we can get right back on the saddle and be right back in the thick of things, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely, absolutely. So they're smart enough that you have to understand the length and duration of the football season. It's a long season. You just got to stay with it and find a way. And we have to find a way to. We're beating people because we're concentrating on ourselves. We're very well prepared. We're working hard, from the coaches to the last guy on the roster, and then we're playing very aggressive football. And we need to keep that up. We need to continue that number one thing, which is the preparation.
Yes, sir.
I think we have the work ethic, and that's what we're determined to do.
Yep. And so, what are the Yotes going to have to do this week to be able to get a win against Southern Oregon?
Well, I think we need to improve in a couple different areas. I think we need to improve in the pass game. I think there are some little minor things in the run game, but then there's always the adjustments that you have to make too, both offensively, defensively, even special teams. So that's going to be the key. Can we adjust to a team like Southern in just a few short days? I think that's the most difficult thing playing against them. They're just so much different than everybody else in the conference. And then on the offensive side, it's exciting because we know what they're going to do. On the other hand, they've made some good adjustments in the past years. Then we happened to catch them last year, and looking at the game, it was feast or famine. They were able to really stop us. So we do need to clean some things up in the offensive plan. And defensively, it's all, to be perfectly honest with you, it's scary. We have to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. We have to be able to stop their run.
You got to run with their receivers.
And we got
to get
your
hips turned around and
vertical all day.
Yep.
And that's a fairly new thing in sports, that 4 verticals thing in football. And everybody's doing it. They do it as well as anybody in the country at this level. They run 4 verticals 10, 15 times a game, and if they hit 5, maybe that's enough to score 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yes, sir. So, it's homecoming week for C of I. Obviously, the crowd is going to be huge this week, and we need you guys out there to support the Yotes. You guys bring a ton of energy. We want to see the tailgate zone, Yote tailgate zone packed. We want to see the stadium packed, make it a great atmosphere for homecoming, and watch us get another W. So, great job last week, Coach. Good luck this week, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, Broch.
Yep, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
How's it going, Yote fans? Big win for the C of I Yotes, 28-14 over Montana Tech. So sitting down with a couple players today here. First is senior defensive end Landon Clark Gamble. Heck of a game for you personally, but talk a little bit about the defense as a whole and your performance. Obviously, you guys kind of shut it down all day. So
yeah, we really focused this week on stopping Jet Fight, the running back. He was big hype, been there for 3 years, was an All-American guy last year. All week we were just focused on stopping the run. when we came out, we did that big. It all started up front with the D-line. You know, we got a really veteran group on the D-line this year, like 6 seniors, I think, something like that. And we kind of just took care of business, and everything followed into place behind us. Big credit to the linebackers in the secondary, filling the gaps and making sure we could keep Fike under control, and then slowly just take care of everything else. And it really helped us out, being able to stop the run.
Yes, sir. So, and then 4 sacks for the D-line, which was huge. Get after the quarterback a little bit. Always going to help the defense. So, you know, what do you credit that to? Was it scheme-wise? Were you guys stunting them, or was it just more the physicality and bringing the fight to them?
I think it's a mix of both. We had scheme. We were running quite a bit of games on them, and then just practicing. We've been working a lot on our moves and all sorts of things like that.
So you guys were great against the run all day. You know, like you said, Jed Fike, heck of a player for them, but he really struggled to get going. No really big runs. I think his biggest one was maybe like 11 yards. So talk a little bit about how you guys stopped the run and why that's so important for the defense.
Just stopping the run allows us to like kind of open things up and like blitz a little bit more and do things we want to do, be able to get after the quarterback and you know, affect him downfield throws, give him less time. So stopping the run really just opens that up, and obviously we were able to get to that point when bringing some pressure. We had four D-line, I think, with sacks, 4 of us. So that was obviously just huge, being able to stop their momentum, and certain plays like that, sacks are just huge momentum killers for drives. So that was a big time for us.
Yep. And then moving on to this week, right? We're putting Montana Tech to bed, a little 24-hour rule. Moving on to Southern Oregon, always a huge game for the Yotes. You know, if you want to win the league, you got to beat Southern Oregon. So, talk a little bit about how excited you are for that game at home, homecoming, and what it means to you to play Southern.
Southern's always a really fun game. Southern, they're chippy, they're always good. They won the national championship in 2014, and then runner-up, I think, in 2015. And they're just always talking. They always get a lot of bounce backs from big schools, and big guys, but they like to run their mouth a lot. And we do too sometimes, so it makes it a fun game. We go out there, it's Southern. It's Southern Week. Everyone gets a little more dialed. It's almost a rivalry for us, just like Eastern. Not as much, I'd say, but it's still there a little bit. Everyone hates Southern. Everyone's really looking forward to seeing what they can do this week, because we actually film on them for the first time this week, so it'll be nice being able to scheme, actually know what a team's going to do. But yeah, it's Southern League, man. We're excited.
Awesome. All right, good luck this weekend.
Thanks, bro.
All right, so we're here with senior quarterback Darius Chase Peterson, and just kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about the offensive performance as a whole. What was your initial reaction after watching the film? I know it was a little bit of a slow start for you guys, but talk about your guys' performance as a whole throughout the 4 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not the way we wanted to start, but we finished the way we expected to. Going into the game, we knew we had to be the most physical team up front, and we definitely did that throughout the whole game. They might have stopped us a couple times in the beginning, and we were just still trying to get a feel for what kind of defense they were running, because like Layman said, we didn't really know what kind of defensive structure they were going to have because they had a new defensive coordinator. So we had to feel them out for a little while, but then once we got the ball rolling, it's really when things started happening.
Absolutely. And it felt like you got to open up the pass game a little bit more than Eastern. Big play to Juarez. So talk a little bit about how the receivers played, the tight ends, and what you thought of the pass game performance.
Yeah, I mean, the passing game really started to open up once the run game started to develop, and hats off to the O-line. They created some big holes for the running backs, and which allowed us as a receiver standpoint and the quarterback standpoint to be able to air it out a little bit more.
Yep. And then like kind of with Landon moving forward to Southern Oregon, it's going to be a huge game for the offense. Southern Oregon's a team that likes to put up a lot of points. So talk a little about what your experience has been playing Southern Oregon and how excited you are to get in front of the fans for homecoming.
Yeah, I mean, Southern Oregon's always a very fun game. I mean, I remember my freshman year when we upset them in overtime, and I mean, that whole field was just amazing, and can never really capture that, again. And so every time we play them, we know we have a tough game ahead of us, and they always come out, hitting hard, and doing their assignments and everything they need to do. And so we just need to capitalize on offense of their mistakes and do our football.
Perfect. Thanks, Darius. Appreciate it. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
The first play we're going to break down here is a little special teams play, and one thing I really want to highlight is just a phenomenal return by Tony Hubner here. The Yotes are got the Montana Tech Ore Diggers pinned here. This is late in the 3rd quarter. First of all, a great little rush here by Meach and Brock Funk just to get to the line and put some pressure on their punter, have to make him, get a tough punt off here. Get out. Tristan Alisi here at the bottom of the screen does a great job on number 24, really beating the heck out of his man. beats the heck out of his man all the way down the field, keeps him out of the play. And then Tony Hubner here is really who makes the play. Does a great job of being patient, making one cut, getting upfield, and really want to highlight Tony because he just did a heck of a job all day in the punt return game. A few little 10-yard punt returns, and those ones are really just hidden yardage for the Yotes. But this one is one he really breaks, gets the Yotes into a good field position situation. Heck of a job by Tony Hubner all day, securing catches, making things happen, and that's going to be big for the Yotes here this year going forward. Here's a little the tight view of this play. Again, Tristan Alisi here at the far right of the screen where the mouse is, beating up his man, keeping him out of the play, keeping him out. Tony makes one good cut, gets upfield. Just a heck of a job here by number 10, Tony Hubner. It's going to be big for the Yotes this season. So this next play that we're going to break down here is a 3rd and 10. Ball's on the 27. You can see it's in the 4th quarter. The Yotes have really taken control of this game at 21-0. The defense has got themselves in a passing down. They're going to try to get after the quarterback. And what we're really going to break down here is just a phenomenal individual play by Landon Clark Gamble. He's over there at the top of the screen where the mouse is, here at the right side of the O-line. The coverage here on this play is fairly average. We got some receivers from Montana Tech kind of running free here. We got a good little dig route by number 10 at the bottom of the screen. Bottom of the screen receiver here, number 10 runs a good dig route. He's open. Got a couple guys open here, but if you watch Landon Gamble here, unbelievable spin move, gets upfield on number 75, gets on his upfield shoulder, spins on him. That's just an incredible individual play by Landon here. And to be honest, if he doesn't make this play, he's here at the left side of the screen here where the mouse is. If Landon doesn't get off this and make this play, this is probably a big play for Montana Tech. We got a few guys on the D-line doing a good job here. Danny Garcia on the right side of the screen here at the bottom is also doing a good job working on number 70, putting pressure on the quarterback. So both D ends here just make a phenomenal play. Look at Landon get on that upfield shoulder, that guy spin move. Just a heck of a job here by a senior D lineman and just making a great individual play and forcing a punt for Tech. And really, this is one of the plays that kind of felt like it really put the thing away and Tech just couldn't get anything going offensively. And even when their guys were getting open, we got D linemen making great plays for the Yotes. So heck of a job there, Landon. Okay, the last play we're going to break down here is from the offense, and this truly is the play that put the game away and really sealed the deal for the Yotes on Saturday out there in Butte. This is a 58-yard run by Nick Calzaretta here. Want to highlight a couple guys on the O-line, and then obviously Nick doing a great job with the run. So first, let's take a look at the O-line here. A couple guys I want to highlight. Number 1, Ricky Bowman's going to do a great job pinning this guy. Gabe Zarita is going to get a great pin block on number 97. Josh Brown here at left tackle. So we got 2 great pins by the left side. Josh Brown climbs up to number 53 there. Absolutely kicks the crap out of the linebacker here. Just does a great job getting upfield, being physical, creating a huge hole for them. Right tackle Garrett Rayberg just does just enough to keep his guy out of the play over there at on the left side of the screen over here at right tackle. Braden Bale, right guard, gets out of his stance, gets the pull block, kicks out number 48. Good job there, just getting on the upfield shoulder. That's a big thing that's important for linemen. It's hitting the correct shoulder. If he gets on that upfield shoulder like he does, there's no way number 48 can make a play. So nice job of knowing where to block your man here. And then Nick Calzaretta, there's nothing, there's not enough that you can say about his performance on Saturday. 247 yards on the ground for Nick. Was just running hard all day. Gets up in the hole, breaks a couple tackles. And that right there is just, that's just hitting the hole at 100 miles an hour, and that's really the reason why he breaks this run. Is there's a good enough hole for him to get 10 yards, but when you got a guy that hits it as hard as he does here, gets right up in there, these guys don't even know what hit him, breaks it the distance, 58 yards, puts the game away for the Yotes. Just a heck of an all-around play by the offensive line. I'll give you guys one more look at it. Great play by the offensive line and by Nick Calzaretta. And this run game for the Yotes has been fantastic this season. The first 2 games have shown a lot about what they're going to be able to do this year, and hopefully they can keep it up on the ground this season. All right, Yote fans, so just like every week, we want to give a little bit of a recap of what happened in the Frontier Conference this week. So starting off out in Dillon, Montana, Carroll College went to Montana Western. They lost 31-24, so a big win for Montana Western this week. Tough game, you know, it was tied midway through the fourth quarter, 24-24, kind of was a back and forth affair all day. But Western comes out on top of that one, so a big first week 1 win for Western. They didn't play in the 0 week like the Yotes did, so big way to start the season for them. Rocky Mountain hosted Montana State Northern. Beat them 54-34. I think Northern kind of showed again in week 2 that they're going to be an improved team this year. They went down, like we said, week 1 and beat Arizona Christian. Really played Rocky Mountain tough this week, and Rocky obviously won the league last year, so you know Northern looked good on offense, but so did Rocky Mountain. Rocky is now 2-0, so coming off of their conference championship, they're right back to 2-0 and looking very tough again this year. And then lastly, really the surprising game for the week was SOU going to Eastern Oregon. They lost 24-21. It was a tight game all day. Eastern Oregon was able to put a drive together in the fourth quarter and win that game, and really a surprise. You know, I think you know Eastern had a tough showing in week 1 against the C of I Yotes here, and we were able to get a big win over them in kind of dominating fashion. But you know, they were able to respond this week and do a heck of a job of beating Southern Oregon. All right, so we want to preview, just like we do every week, a couple of the key players on both offense and defense for the opposing team coming in. So Southern Oregon this week. So starting with the defense, you know, a couple DBs I want to highlight here. First, Nate Karatley. I believe that's how you say his name. He's a redshirt junior safety. He's the leading tackler for the Red Raiders right now. You know, Southern Oregon's always known for having fast, physical defensive backs. They are not afraid to come downhill. They are able to play man coverage on receivers, and that's something that's pretty rare, you know, in football in general, at any level, is finding DBs that can really play man coverage against teams, and they're not afraid to do it. They're always athletic, so Nate Karatley is a guy who's going to come downhill at safety, fly around the field, really play sideline to sideline and make a lot of tackles on people. The next guy, corner Michael Chisley Jr., he's also a redshirt junior corner for them. Already has a couple picks on the season for the Red Raiders, so he's leading the team in turnovers right now. Obviously a ball hawk, a guy they feel that can play on an island against any receiver. He's going to have a tough challenge against the Yotes, obviously with Hunter Juarez and Connor Richardson and Keegan Crafton. We got a few great pass catchers on our team, so he'll be challenged this week. But likewise, I think it'll just be a great battle on the edge between those guys and Michael Chisley Jr. So look out for him this week. Moving over to the offense, their quarterback, Wyatt Hutchinson, he's a returning quarterback for them. A lot like Eastern. He's a guy that can run, he can throw, he's a good scrambler, he can get out of the pocket, he's got a strong arm, and really one of the things he does best is he's a great deep ball thrower. And anyone who's watched Southern Oregon over the years, they are a deep ball team. They want to take, you know, 10 to 15 shots a game down the field. They feel like if they can hit a few of those, maybe that could be 21, 28 points for them real quick on quick drives where we can strike early. You know, if you've watched Southern Oregon over the years, a lot of times they start the game going deep on the first play. And even if you know it's coming, they want to be aggressive right from the get-go, and I respect that a lot about their program. So Wyatt Hutchinson is a great deep ball thrower. And then moving over to the receiver side, Jordan Sewell, he's a senior receiver for them. Maybe the best receiver in the conference and one of the most electric players in the country at the NAIA level. He has been a phenomenal player for them for a number of years. He had 150 yards receiving against Division I Sac State in week 1. You know, he's already had a few touchdowns and over 200 yards receiving on the season in just 2 weeks. He is a heck of a player. He can run the entire route tree. He's going to go deep on us. They're going to try to force the ball downfield to him, and he's great on the 50-50 balls, even when we have good coverage. He's a big guy. He can go up and get the ball in traffic. He can run. He can catch. He's just a heck of an all-around player, and he's going to be a huge challenge for the Yotes this week. We're definitely going to have to slow him down, so got a lot of respect for him and really for the whole team of Southern Oregon. I know I said it in the other preview and also the recap of the conference, but you know, Southern Oregon is just a phenomenal program. They got a ton of pride. You know, they've done a lot of winning over the years in the NAI, especially recently. They've, in a lot of ways, had a little bit of a stranglehold on this league. They're just a heck of a program that you got to have a lot of respect for. They're going to be very athletic. They're going to be physical. They're going to be big, and they're going to be coming out fired up, ready to play. So a lot of respect for those guys, and certainly watch out for those guys that we just previewed this week. They're heck of a players. Southern Oregon is going to come into this week a motivated group. Their backs against the wall. This is the biggest game of the season so far for the Yotes, no question. We want to start a campaign to pack the house. We want to set a record attendance. This is a huge game for the Yotes. Southern Oregon is going to be a very motivated team to come in and knock off a ranked opponent, C of I. We're 2-0 in the league. Let's set the record for attendance this week. And if you guys haven't seen, you need to come out and you need to watch Darius James Peterson, Nick Calzaretta. Some of these guys are unbelievable players who are lighting up the league right now. Both of those guys are 60, 70-yard touchdowns waiting to happen. They're both game breakers. Hunter Juarez with a huge 88-yard touchdown catch this week against Tech. We got guys that can break the game open. They're very exciting to watch. We got a ranked team. We're 2-0 in the league. We got everything on the line this week against Southern Oregon. It's always a chippy game and a fun game. Southern Oregon's a heck of a program. They're going to come in here fired up, so could not be a bigger game this week. Get your tickets, get out and watch one of the most exciting NAIA teams in the country. Get after it at Simplot Stadium this weekend.